Hello there, welcome to another Kerfuffle showcase, and I am delighted to have Mark Hinkins here today from Rex Software. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, very good, thank you, Simon. How are you?
Yeah, good. All excited. Everything else, I'm excited today as well because obviously CRM. Whilst I have to admit to being a bit of a obviously trained spotter, it is my first love and joy. So I'm particularly interested to talk to you guys who. Okay, I think it's not fair to say you're the industry's best kept secret because actually a lot of people are starting to know about you. But equally, you are new on the scene relatively, aren't you? And you've got a lot in your kit bag to be talking about. So I'm not going to. For once, I'm not going to let the whale waffle get in the way of actually talking to you about it. But I think what would be really interesting, just before we kick into Rex itself, Mark, is just give us a bit of background on yourself, because I think fantastically you've worked at the coal facing agency, so you know it particularly well. You've worked with a number of the main packages, and I think that stands you in really good stead. So do you want to just give a bit of background there?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thanks for having me on the show. So I started off, I guess, around 12 years ago, and probably one of those classic cases of falling very much into working in property. So I started off working on weekends in an agency in Torquay, which is where I grew up. I then moved, went to university, came back, went traveling for a little bit, and then came and moved to London and started working for a home search consultant. So helping find homes, worked on the buying agent side of things as well, and did that for about 3 or 4 years. And then moved to Countrywide, where I worked within the corporate services team, which is a really, really great insight into the letting side of things, working with some high net worths who are moving over to the UK, and both on the kind of the buying and the letting side of things. And then this opportunity at Rex came up. So been here for about 1.5 years now, and really enjoying it.
Cool. And I've been lucky enough to have a demo from you, and you do you really know your onions. So I think that's fantastic. I encourage anybody out there thinking about it to have a demonstration with yourself. I not to prejudge how the rest of this goes, but I was pretty blown away. And I should say, I know about Rex because, of course, we did. I went to Aric a few times. My old company Reap opened up over there and continues to do so. So I did know of Rex, but I thought I knew Rex. I'd seen it a few years ago, and just to me, it's come on quantum levels. It was a good package then, but I think what I see now, especially the way that you have customized it for the UK market, really offers a lot of potential. It looks really exciting, and I assume that's what must have caught your eye with it when the opportunity came up as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. There's a lot of CRM packages out there. What was really kind of eye-catching about Rex is how we kind of make the day that much more efficient. As I said, how we make things more productive for an agent, so that they can maintain long-term relationships. The market in Australia and the way that real estate operates is a little bit different, to how it is over in the UK. But there are a lot of similarities, and probably more similarities than there are differences.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's exactly how, look, a CRM is not just going to go from Australia and go to the UK, or UK to Australia, and work perfectly. It requires that localization. We feel we've nailed it now with Rex in the UK, and we're starting to roll out like additional features, which are new things that are being built on top of the main product, which are really kind of giving Rex an edge compared with our competitors in the marketplace.
And let's just, and absolutely concur with everything you say there. And actually, I'm sure you guys did it better than when I did it. But when we went over there, we underestimated that localization thing. We thought terminology, might be the main thing. But actually, just a few of the niche ways that things, obviously the total reliance on open homes over there, the way that it's a month, obviously, essentially, there's so much going at auction as well, as they would call it over there. That actually took a time for us to get it right. So it took us 1 year or two. And I think what's interesting now is you're through that kind of MVP phase, as it would be. And one of the big, wonderful bits of innovation you've already come out with is you've got this fantastic tie-in, haven't you, with the land registry to help out with, well, just all sorts of information, but primarily prospecting. And when you showed me it the other day, I was kind of eyes wide open, wasn't I, looking at the way you've done that. I'm guessing that's going down very well with the UK clients and prospects you're talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. As you sort of alluded to, moving from that one market to the other market, getting that MVP in place is really, really important. There are certain things in the UK market which are just almost unique to the UK market, having chains in place, for example.
Yeah.
They don't really exist within Australia, and having to build that functionality out is something that's kind of the initial challenge there. But then it allows us on top of that to look at things like, as you said, the land registry integration, which is going down extremely well with agents. You can bulk import the sales history of a particular street, postcode, partial postcode, have all that information in one place and start to prospect out from there. So get out letters, get out flyers, get out emails. And it's something that really kind of allows you to have that single point of truth, which is something that we really, really highlight, having all that information in one record in one place.
Excellent. So we were going to talk today, loosely speaking, as usual. We've been talking for 10 minutes, and it's only now that I ever talk about what the title is. That's just me being incompetent. But today we were going to really try and frame it, other than obviously being the introduction to Rex for many people here, as being the most productive and efficient version of yourself, a day in the life, essentially, of what it looks like to be a Rex agent, isn't it? Which I think is a lovely way of obviously looking at that there. So first of all, just detailing, obviously, you know, there's more, thankfully there's more CRMs than you can shake a cat at, or whatever the saying is over here, because otherwise we'd be quite quiet on Kerfuffle. But what sets you apart? What is there what's the main difference, do you think?
So what's really interesting, this is how we looked at it a little bit, was a lot of CRMs will demonstrate, and their salespeople will demonstrate the CRMs and say, look, this is our dashboard, this is one feature, this is what this does, this is what this does. And you think, actually, how are we going to apply this, and how are we going to use this on a day-to-day basis as an agent? We stripped it back and looked at the day in the life of an estate agent, and where can we make you more productive? Where can our tools, our features help you to do what you do best, rather than just replacing an essential agent transaction, an essential kind of communication with a client or with a prospect, replacing that with tech. It's actually enhancing that and allowing you to free up your time to build those better relationships, which is something that we really highlight at Rex. So the kind of more productive journey, it allows you to send mail messages, so emails all in one go. All of these kind of little things that you do one by one usually takes you 20 minutes to get through 10, 15 emails. In Rex, you've got a feature, you hit bulk merge, and you can send out all of your templated emails for the day. Huge amounts of prospecting ability, huge amounts of staying in contact, that ability. And it just kind of simplifies that for you and allows you to use your time better as you work through your day-to-day tasks. So
as technology should promise to deliver anyway, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that's great. And I think that is the thing, is, you know, you're doing a number of different things there that will be music to many people's ears, in terms of, yes, you look, that most important, the sexy part of it, helping with the prospecting, helping you win new business, fantastic, big tick in the box there. But secondly, as well, it is raising just the customer satisfaction standards, service element there is clearly runs really, it's absolutely central and core through Rex, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, I completely agree. As I sort of alluded to, we're not replacing that communication, that essential contact that you have, the initial conversation that you have with an applicant, that communication you have with a vendor, where you're kind of realigning their expectations, managing their expectations. We don't try and replace that. We don't try and overly automate that. We allow you to free up your time, do the simple tasks and get them done very, very quickly, and have better communication, better educated communication because of the data, and have that with your prospects and with your clients.
And that really comes across. And so using like a series of kind of reminders, it's really prominent again within Rex when we had that demonstration. And what's the kind of premise behind that? Are these all out of the box reminders? Are they customizable? You know, because the simplicity of, and it sounds such an obvious thing, doesn't it? But I don't think trying to get across to people the power of those reminders is a really key element in your demonstrations, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. It's something we center, I would guess the first sort of 15 minutes of the demonstration is very much centered around this. And the premise is around maintaining and building long-term relationships. Yeah. Something that caught my eye particularly in a statistic I heard just last week, I think it was, If you are a buyer who is buying a property, the chances of you selling that property through the same agent is about 8%. I think it's about 1 in 12 or sort of statistics, which is ridiculously low when you think about it. If you bought a home, who are you going to sell it with? You should be really going to the agent you bought it from in the first place. In Australia, that's about 60%. So it's about 6 times as high, I think. A massive amount, much higher. And it's because things like we have, like this tracks feature, like you're mentioning, which are basically a series of reminders or a checklist of reminders that you tick off over a period of time. And what they can be used for are from getting you from one step to another and nurturing relationships over a period of time, or maintaining those long-term relationships. So simple things where you might book in a valuation and have different nurturing points over a period of time that will best get you from the initial book valuation to the instruction. Or if you sell a property, what do you do then? You don't just finish up and never speak to that particular buyer again. In a week's time, you follow up, see how the initial move's gone. You have another reminder in a 3 months' time. How's the move gone? Here's some information about local restaurants or something like that. Just staying in contact, something useful for them. 12 months' time, you send them an anniversary card and it's all templated there for you. 18 months' time, you know how popular 2-year fixed mortgages are at the moment. You know they're on a 2-year fixed mortgage. Can you refer them to a mortgage provider? Staying in touch, giving them something useful. In 2 years' time, you've got another reminder in place, something that's automatically there, automatically prompts you to go out to that particular buyer and say to them, look, you bought your house at this price. In your local area, house prices have been going up this much recently. Here's how much your property is probably worth. Would you be interested in transacting again? And just having those series of reminders that can be used for anything. They're completely customizable, completely tailored. You can run the business around them and tailor them exactly how you want to use them.
And that strength that runs through Rex in terms of, just on that basic premise of, the simplicity of the records, one view of the contact, everything that's going on there, the reminders very easy as well. That also extends through as well, doesn't it, into communication and indeed event calendar organization. So one of the things that I just opened my eyes again was that fundamental strength that you can tie in natively into things like Gmail or Outlook, not just for calendars, and diaries, but actually also into the tracking of emails. Is that bidirectional? So does it go in and out? So literally anything that can be sent out that is stored against a record in Rex that goes out from within, say, Outlook, will still be stored back into.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that every manager at an agency will encourage their staff to copy and paste their emails into their CRM. But it just doesn't get done, does it? It's so time consuming, it's mundane, and you think, right, no, let's get on to the next thing. There's no point in that. It's just time consuming. With Rex, we simplify it. We have what we call an email Dropbox feature. Every email you send or receive, they will all appear within this Dropbox and they'll get filtered against the particular contact record. So you've got that unified summary of all the communication you've had with that particular contact. It allows better informed conversations, it allows better teamwork, and it just helps you to run that business that bit better. Same with your calendar as well. We've got a two-way sync there. So if you're putting appointments into your Outlook calendar, you're receiving appointment requests through Outlook. Everything that goes into your Outlook calendar will appear in your Rex calendar. You're booking viewings through Rex, you're booking valuations, it appears in your Rex calendar. It gets two-way synced through to the Outlook calendar as well. You're not double booking yourself, nothing gets missed, and it's really, really simple, keeps everything in one place.
It's absolutely exceptional. As I said, I was trying to think back. I guess some of those, the wider packages out there, any of the ones that are done on Salesforce, again, there's ways and means that you can get to that, although it's certainly not as slick as the way I saw it in Rex. And I think there was a basic kind of functionality in the old Dupix system, but again, this takes it on to just the absolute next level. And I know from my own demonstrations, we would get bogged down into sort of diary synchronization, so what happens actually, what happens if we're trying to say a manager needs to investigate something? You can't just go to one place, can you? You've got to then go back through emails and Outlook and anything else there. So yeah, I mean, and this is before we even start looking at the horror show of GDPR and all of that. that legal nonsense as well, isn't it? It's legal nonsense, he says, but very important legal nonsense, obviously. So that is, look, I mean, I think there will be people buying it on the basis of that alone, which is great from your point of view. And actually, I was going to save it till the end, but I think it's worthwhile. Normally you try and work your way through, don't you, selling people on the benefits and then deliver the price there. But I don't think you need to worry about that. So unless I'm going to, do tell me if I'm wrong on this, or we'll re-edit it. But I think you can get it as you've got three main tiers from what I remember, and there's an entry level one there that starts from £40 a user, which again is very competitively priced. I think there was, there used to be packages out there, you may well know, Expert Agent, that really went for the mass market. And yes, this isn't taking anything away from the functionality, and of course that the extra functionality and customization comes with your enterprise level ones there, but you can get on the Rex train essentially very easily, can't you, and then build up as the company grows.
Yeah, very much so. You can enter in, as you say, at the starter package, which gives you kind of the main functionality there, minus certain kind of customizations that you can do with the professional package. Professional package is very much what the vast majority of our clients take, and is very, very aligned at the mass market, as you say. And then on top of that, we've got our enterprise package. So if you're 4, 5, 6, up to sort of 200 branches, one of our clients, you can then further tailor, further build on the system, build workflows, build more automation, build additional, use the back end of the system to build exactly how you want that system to work. So that if you're a director or a regional director and you want your staff to operate in a specific way, you can do that. You can automate things. You can ensure that there's custom validations, that the right data goes in at the right place, and it's at that enterprise level allows you further customization, so the system is exactly tailored for how you want it.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned the client base there, and we should say that we don't have to name them unless you want to. But you've already made massive strides into landing one of the biggest corporates over here, and that again shows absolute testament to the strength of the software. And again, what need to stress, you might be relatively new to the UK market, but Rex has been one of the main packages. I've heard one of the reasons you came on my radar, to be fair, when we spoke to Anton, the CEO there, was the Josh Vegan, obviously renowned trainer and guru over here, was saying you need to have a look at these guys. So I think you've got a lot to be said for that, because to be able to deliver for one of those corporates who have a very precise idea about how automation does work and workflow and else there it's got to be a big thumbs up. And again, look, we won't ruin it. I know we're going to do a separate show where we actually look at some of these bits of functionality, but again, if you're looking to kind of get a system that will support the way you want to work, rather than you bending the way you work because that's the way the software works, then Rex again is the package, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of what you get out of the box between the professional package and the enterprise package, it's exactly the same. So those enterprise level clients will get the same basic package of Rex that the mass market get. What it allows you on the enterprise is then to build on top of the system. So you can tailor it exactly how you want, through the workflow builder, through your customer validations, through the API, through the webhooks that we have. It allows you to completely customize on top of that system. And we've also recently launched an integration with Zapier, which will further increase the amount of workflows and automation that you can build with 3,000 other products. And you can do that within the professional package as well. So that is something that a lot of the mass market are probably going to be quite interested in.
So that's one of the top 3 grumbles from UK agents when we did our supplier survey actually out. They highlighted, look, oh bloody hell, the lack of our different tech stack that doesn't work together, doesn't integrate together. And clearly the CRMs have been to a large degree, have been on the back foot, trying to catch up, because obviously they're the backbone of most people's businesses. And so that it's natural that all of the tech products need to integrate with the CRM, don't they, at some level. What I loved, and if you get the chance to talk to Anton when he's over here, the guy's a veritable genius. And talking to him though, whereas I would talk to some of the CRM companies here, and it would be very much perceived, let's be honest, as a pain in the arse handling these integrations. Anton very much saw it coming from a similar place to me. No, this is fantastic, because if we manage to integrate with these third parties, great, it makes us our product, we get a halo effect from it, don't we? And that's can't be overstated, that most agents, as we know at Kerfuffle, they have 20 different suppliers in their agency, and most of those are like a Jenga pile. They're not connected, it's ready to fall down. With systems like Rex now, you can bring all that under one roof.
Yeah, totally. We were one of the first CRM. Well, we were the first CRM in Australia and New Zealand to fully open our API, and it's only something that is very recent over in the UK, where companies are starting to do this. So more companies are integrating with each other more, but we do, as we say, have the fully open API. If a client wants to integrate with a product that we don't already integrate with, and they want to build that integration, we're happy to provide those API documents, and at no cost, as I say. And it is one of those, it is something that has been done by a number of our clients previously, where they feel that this is a system that they want to integrate with, and they're able to quite seamlessly do it themselves with a little bit of help from our developers.
Yeah, well, international expansion, obviously very exciting for a business wherever that is. What are the what's the logistics in terms of how you're able to support people over here? You know, I'm assuming most of the dev is still done in Australia. That would be typical there. But how you know, some agents might be concerned about that. Can you just put their minds to rest in terms of, you know, the how the onboarding takes place and what the support looks like after go live?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have local support in the UK. We've got a support team over here, which obviously works within UK working hours. And then we've obviously got our support team in Australia as well. So effectively, support is covered about 20 hours a day. And I don't think there's many other CRM systems.
They call it follow the sun support, don't they? Because
I think that's it. Yeah, the sun never sets on Rex is what we're saying. But on that as well. So that's with support. With training, we've got a learning management system. There's about 15 hours of video split down into 3 minutes, which allow you to train on every aspect of the system. It's incredibly intuitive, but everyone learns at their own different speed. So you can get someone who's not particularly tech savvy, you can go through all the videos, you can learn the product quite quickly. You've got someone else who picks it up straight away. They can go through maybe the core parts of it, but be using Rex within that particular day, just get into it and start using it because it is that intuitive. And that's something that we found very, very important. And it has resonated very, very well with UK agents so far.
It is very clean. I mean, there's very few systems I get genuinely sort of in awe of, because the difficulty with CRM is, you know, a lot of the time you're trying to portray a lot of information on the screen, and trying to portray a lot of information on the screen does not lend itself often to simplicity. So it's always a really tough you know, tough challenge, that. And I think you guys have really managed it. You know, on the face of it, it looks very slick, very modern there, but that's not because there's a lack of functionality, as sometimes is the case when systems are simple. I suppose if we deal with an elephant in the room, if you don't mind though, Mark, of course, at the moment, one of the biggest challenges you can get is localizing it as well in terms of the property management and the account. So I think it's fair to say, isn't it? You're robust, you know, you're very strong now on the sales side of things. You're doing the front office elements of lettings, but the deep property management and accounts is being released later this year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, and going on that, as you mentioned about how kind of simple the Rex system is, and we're not overloading the interface. We have made a huge investment time-wise and obviously money-wise into the UX and the UI of the system. Of our employees, we've got about 100 employees across Australia and the UK. Of that, about 50% of them work on the product, are UX designers, UI designers, developers. So it really goes to show how much investment that we put into the product and making it the most intuitive and making it just a great user experience for anyone who uses the product.
Yeah, it comes across again, and again, I won't say it in public because I don't know whether I'm allowed to, but Anton spent some time talking about your dev resource, and I was like, wow, that is, you know, that's, and you can't rush accounts functionality and everything else there, but that would be, again, one to keep an eye on, because if you can keep that simplicity that you got on the sales side with a combined package as well, so you've got that, you know, the ability to have a contact-centric system that looks after buyers and vendors, landlords, and tenants as well, you know, in those single contact records, that's where people want to go, isn't it, in the future? I think most people, when they're looking at CRM now, they, you know, you don't want to be jumping around every 2 or 3 years, do you? So the next step for them is probably the one they feel like, you know, they want to go forwards with for decades, not just a few years.
Yeah, very much so. A lot of the potential clients that I'm speaking with at the moment are saying, look, we understand that there's other CRMs around at the moment that we could easily switch to. But what they're all saying, or what the majority of those are saying, is we don't want to be just making a change now and then having to change in 18 months' time because the system we're going with, or our current system, haven't developed as much as they say they're going to, or as much as we think they should.
Yeah.
We want to go for the long-term play. We want to go with the system which we think is fantastic at the moment, but has a development pipeline, what's going to be developing and improving over the next 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, and is something that we make a long-term play with. And that's very much working in our favor, and it's very much resonating again with our prospects.
Great. And is it the right choice for a big agency group? I'm guessing I'm answering my own question because you've already added one of the very largest. But is it, you know, I guess it's right for all size businesses, isn't it?
Yeah, so as we offer those three tiers of functionality, the starter, professional, enterprise level, you can come in as an agent and be a one-man band agent who's just setting up, and use Rex as a multiplier, which allows you to compete against other agents who are bigger, who are the kind of the single branch independents, those who've got 2 or 3 branches, those are 6, 10, 15, 20, right up to those who are, as we say, 150, 200 branches, and use Rex virtually in exactly the same way out of the box. And as you develop as an agency, customize that so it will work exactly how you want it to work. But as I say, we've got clients who are single users and are growing their agency and have really done fantastically well over the last, I guess, 8, 9, 12 months, and used Rex to their advantage, and Rex has helped them. Obviously, they're pretty great agents as they are anyway, but they're using technology to their advantage. And then we've got the other side of things. We've got those agents or an agent who is 180, 200 branches and have tailored the system so it works exactly for them, and they get the very best out of their staff.
Excellent. And just talk us through again then, because you've actually got your own app, haven't you, to talk about again the strength of the this is a true cloud-based system, but also you've thought about it in a mobile experience. Often apps work even better at getting information across. You know, some of those prospecting tools you've got again in the palm of your hand with that app are fantastic, aren't they? What are the people who are using it over here saying about that elements of the service?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pocket, the mobile app, is very much, in my opinion, our biggest client benefit. It's really, when I show that and when I flash that on a demonstration, it really resonates particularly well with clients on the demonstration. What they see is that, if you think about it, the amount of time that an agent will be spending out of the office at the moment, in between viewings, in between valuations, driving around, it's a huge amount of their day. I think we did a bit of research on it in Australia, and it might be different in the UK, but about 55, 60% of their time is spent outside the office. And that might be the case for negotiators in a sort of a standard office branch setup. But what it means is that there's a huge amount of time when they're away from their desk, they don't have access to their CRM, or they might be having to go into their phone, go into Safari, log into their CRM, click around in loads of different places and really kind of zoom into the interface to use it. And it just doesn't work that well. Again, it's as we've mentioned, it's one of those things that just doesn't get done, adding notes into that system, making notes on bits of paper. So with Pocket, it's a lot simpler. You pick up the app in the same way as you'd be logging into Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever product you'd be logging into an app, and get that better user experience. You can make calls directly from it. You can add in your other agents' boards. If you see a competitor's board go up, add it in when you pull over at the side of the road. Action your reminders. Be more productive, as I was saying. Be more, and the title of this segment is "Be More Productive with Your Time. Be More Efficient." Doing that on your mobile is certainly one of those things that highlights it.
Yeah, it's great. I thought it was such an interesting way you started the demonstration by actually, you just wake up, as we all do, sort of bleary-eyed. You're straight. I don't know whether this is really impressive or depressing, but you're straight into your X app, aren't you, to look at what you've got coming up and everything else there. You can action things literally instantaneously. And I think the thing when I always used to, harping back doing my, during the war stories, it was always about, that what is the first thing you turn on in the day, it's the last thing you turn off, isn't it? That's how important CRM software is. It's got a bit of a bad tagline for being a bit gray, a bit sort of, a bit boring, and it shouldn't be, should it? Because genuinely that trite line, whether I invented it or not, I certainly used it loads. You just need one more instruction to pay for this. CRM systems, if they're working properly, shouldn't be delivering you just one listing. They should be, the ROI should be off the scale with it, shouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done surveys with our clients where we're asking, how many more instructions do you think you're winning now that you've switched to Rex? And the overwhelming majority is saying to us that they're generating 4 to 6 or even more additional sales each year. So not just instructions, not just winning those instructions and selling 60% of them. It's a case in that they are bringing in 4 to 6 additional sales. And if you look at the additional sales, the average sales fee in the UK being around £4,500, that is basically 4 to 6 sales as you sell it, you bringing in an additional 18 to £24,000, bit of quick maths there, 18 to 24,000 a year, which or 27,000, that would be it, 18 to 27,000 a year just from that additional investment. Look, we don't pretend to be the cheapest product out there.
No, you shouldn't be.
Value for money, we very much are. Yeah.
Look, that I was looking around. I was trying to find where something like a foghorn or a fanfare or something, because that's a not to use another phrase, but that's a shit the bed moment. There is, you can put your hands on that and say from existing clients they're getting 5 or 6 extra sales a year. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So, and I'm guessing if I know anything about agents, I'm guessing a few of them wouldn't have been quite as probably forthright. Just for the fee, you might put the prices up.
Yeah, exactly.
we'll just downplay this a little bit. We don't want them to think they're too good.
Yeah,
that's really good. Really good. And again, I'm not surprised, and I think it is beholden, not for me to tell other companies how to do their business, but suppliers in general do need to be able to perform and demonstrate that kind of thing, because as we know, changing software, especially CRM, is probably the biggest nightmare people can go through. It's often overstated how difficult it is, and it does get kicked into the long grass because, oh God, I know it's a big job, and so I don't want to do it at the moment. But here's the thing, there's a very real opportunity cost, isn't there? Every week and month, you are sat on a legacy package and you're not getting benefits like that. What's that costing the business, isn't it?
Exactly. There's a very real cost to it. We speak every day with agents where we're making calls initially out to agents, and we're asking them that, when was the last time you actually assessed the CRM package that you're with? And some of them are saying to us 8, 9, 10 years ago. Yeah. Technology's moved forward a huge amount in that time, and just sort of giving half an hour to have a look at that demonstration will kind of either put it right in your mind and make you think, actually, I am with the right package, or you'll think, whoa, what else is out there? And see the Rex demonstration and think, I'm so far behind the times. And you're absolutely right. There's no right time to switch to CRM, switch your CRM system. There is a little bit of short-term pain with it. But as I said, there's no right time, there's no wrong time either. And if you say, look, we're too busy at the moment, look, the market is mad at the moment.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah, are we too busy at the moment? Yeah, but in 4 months' time, if things change, you're going to be saying, oh, we don't know, it's quiet now. And
yeah, there's never a perfect balance, is there?
Exactly. Every agent can do well at the moment.
You've got to make a tough decision, haven't you? If you are busy, the Rex has the potential to make you less busy. It's still doing the same stuff, but the automation and everything will help you. So yeah, the laziest thing was, I think it's got much better, but it used to be December would sell out at the first, couple of months, because everyone would say, oh, that's the quiet month, I'm doing it. But here's the thing as well, even when it was really quiet in December, that's not then ideal, because actually if the staff aren't using it often enough, they go away on the Christmas holidays, come back in January just as everything hits the fan again, and they've forgotten how to use the system. So you really just it's far more important to just really being very conservative and setting a proper time and energy to the project itself, really throwing yourself into the preparation for templates, for data conversion, because it's the old maxim, isn't it? I'm sure it won't be any different. If rubbish in, rubbish out. So cleansing the data at some level from your side as well often is a really constructive element, although it's not particularly a pleasing job. Well, let's talk about that as well, Mark. So data conversion, data transfer. How is that a service that's available? What does that look like? Can you do it from all the main packages? What's the situation there?
Yep. So we've now moved clients over from all of the main packages, all of the main CRMs in the UK, which is fantastic because it means that the Rex is resonating really well with clients who have been on virtually every major CRM system in the UK. So with the data export, it's always down to the quality of the export that you can get from your current provider. So we obviously can't import in what doesn't exist or what is not in a viewable format. So there can be a little bit of pain associated with it, but provided that you can get a decent export from your current provider, then we can import that data into the system.
Great. So bring across all your, a lot of these, the older systems, certainly, you've got the frustrating thing is they know they've got their gold dust data locked away in there, but being able to use it, is really difficult in those packages to get it out in the way you want to. Here's the thing, you can liberate that data, can't you? Move it across into Rex, and then, yes, tap into those prospecting tools that are there ready to use.
Yeah, I think there's the unfortunate thing with some other systems that maybe they make it too difficult for you to leave that system rather than actually kind of upgrading their own system.
Does that go on, Mark? Really? That's yeah. Yes, it is. It's a pain in the arse, isn't it? But the other thing is as well, I take that as well. What's nice is by having a varied, by moving people from other packages as well, they're always, as good as any package get, there's always a couple of nice features in another package, isn't there, when you've moved across? So filling the gaps of those, having as many people moving from other packages is a big thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. Having them move over from different systems, giving that feedback and saying, look, this is what we like in another system. Well, if you're moving system, you're not going to be operating in exactly the same way as you were before. No. What we're allowing you to do is operate how you want to operate, but use the system to help you and enhance you and make you more productive, make you more efficient. And this is maybe a different way of operating, but getting a better outcome in the end.
No, excellent. Well, look, I encourage everybody, first and foremost, we'll put the deal up at the end after the credits, just highlighting your page on Kerfuffle. Always go there, guys. Have a good look, see further information. Obviously, any recordings we do will go up on there. But and of course, take advantage of the deal. I think we've got a fantastic deal. You've been very kind with us, where you're offering Kerfufflers 50% off the setup. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, absolutely correct.
So yeah, as well as being able to get on at those cost-effective prices, you've got an element to do that. And there is a lot of work that goes on. I know instinctively agents don't like setup fees, but if you can't see where the value in that comes from, the amount of work you guys do in the setup, because let's be honest, it's many months, sometimes years before the CRM companies start to make a profit back. Where it works obviously is when you've been with the company like yourself for 4 or 5 years, isn't it?
Yeah, and CRM shouldn't be viewed as a cost to your business. They are virtually a necessity, but it's what value, it's an investment, it's what it brings to your business. And as we say, a lot of our clients have said to us, or the vast majority have said, we think we can make 4 to 6 additional sales, or we are making 4 to 6 additional sales a year. Think about that. You might be spending an extra £1,000, an extra that 1,500 quid with Rex a year, but actually you're bringing back into your business that return on investment is 25 grand with those 6 sales. So
well, look, I can say hand on heart, I don't say, certainly I can be very effusive about a lot of products, but I can say hand on heart, if you aren't happy with your current provider in terms of CRM, you will not find a better use this year than investing an hour of your time with Mark on a demo. First of all, you're an exceptional demonstrator, which I always get, again, a bit of a train spotter, but really invest that time, take some time with Mark to look at this. And I genuinely think you could be stumbling onto a good thing here. So I'm really keeping an eye out for what Rex is going to be delivering going forward. So I think that's great. What's on the horizon for you guys? I mean, obviously you've got that the lettings project there. Is there anything else we should be aware of?
Yeah, there's probably a few features that I can't really talk about, but there's a lot on the way. The latest or soon to be released, like as I mentioned, which is live for some clients, is the Zapier integration.
Yep.
So that's on its way. That'll be fantastic.
That's great. Yeah.
We've got some additional reporting functionality as well, reporting dashboards, which are really going to change the way that agents operate. It is something that is massive over in the UK.
Yes, that was something the Australians, because it's much more of an individualistic practice there, isn't it? Is they really didn't understand the corporate nature over here. Branch reporting and all of that is a real struggle in itself to provide, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. The reports always exist within the system,
yeah.
But they're reports that you produce one by one, and actually the vast majority of branch managers, of area directors, they want to be able to flash up their screen. First thing they see in the morning is the amount of viewings that were booked, or amount of the pipeline that's come in from one of their particular branches, and just see that right in front of them on the screen. And that's what we're producing with the reporting dashboards, as well as a huge amount of other metrics as well.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, look, from my point of view, I think the three takeaways I take from this is, if you consider, and so many people these days are that phrase mobile warriors, how much of your working day is spent away from the desk? How much time do you have in between appointments that's going to waste at the moment that you can genuinely make much more productive there? If you're currently using a CRM without a fully performing mobile solution, again, Rex, got to be a big tick there. Efficiency, try and figure out how you operate your software on a day-to-day basis. What repetitious tasks are there, and look to see if Rex can do them, because if you can, you again, from a time efficiency point of view, big tick. And then again, I think that final point you just said so eloquently there, the connectivity is obviously so important, isn't it, within modern estate agency there, with that many key providers, and there's some really exciting tech providers out there. You want them to be able to link into the most important system in your business, your CRM. And again, you've already got a full open API, which is fantastic. Adding that to Zapier with, what was it? Did you say it's 3,000 out of the box? Yeah, and these are all market leading tech firms, aren't they? So it's your Slacks of the world, the Dropboxes and things like that, isn't it? Which is really exciting. So you've got a really powerful three reasons there, haven't you, to pick up the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. And just with the Zapier thing as well, it also allows you to build integrations Rex to Rex as well. So if there's something you want automated within the system, you can do that within the system using Zapier as well.
Great. And do you advise the agents to do this themselves, or are they better off coming through, or is the option there for both?
The option's there for both, yeah.
Right. So those larger companies that might have IT resource internally or fancy themselves as techies, they can do that. But otherwise, if they don't want to break the system, talk to you guys and get them to do that properly.
Yeah.
Excellent, Mark. As I said, very exciting. I think we're going to see a lot more of Rex. I'm going to certainly be keeping my eye on it, and I'm already looking forward to our next talk and catch up.
Perfect. Me too. I appreciate it. Thanks very much, Simon.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.